right club. Be the right club today.
Johnny, that's better than most.
How about in?
That is better than most. Better than most.
Expect anything different?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up podcast. Solly here, joined by my guys, Mr. TC. Hello, TC.
Hello, Solid. Junior ball knower TC checking in.
I'm really sorry to hear that. Tough weekend for you, but I'm glad we could be here for you on this Sunday night. DJ Pie is here as well. What are we getting into tonight, Mr. Pie Man?
We got a lot to get into, Solly. Good to be with you. We had some good golf from Chris Gotterup out at the Sony. We're going to talk about potentially the end of the Hawaiian swing on the PGA Tour. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about some more fallout from the Brooks Koepka PGA Tour Live Golf news that's going on. A lot of that coming out of Live Golf Media Day. What'd they say, TC? It's Teams Week. You know, Teams Week in the NFL, Teams Week on Live Golf. That's always good. The Latin America Amateur Championship. I know you guys watched a ton of this from Peru. Some great playoff finish there. We're also going to talk about our trip to Casa de Campo a little bit. We were down in the Dominican Republic this week, seeing a new place I don't think any of us had ever been. A lot of good golf to talk about down there. So TC's got a good notebook for the back end of the show. So I think we're going to get to a lot of good stuff. I'm excited. I mentioned Chris Gotterup, your winner at the Sony. Nacho Elvira wins over in Dubai, the Dubai Invitational, holding off Rory McIlroy and a host of others.
Team.
The Bahamas Great Abaco Classic is underway with round one is in the books. I don't know if we're going to do a round one, too deep of a round one update, but I am reading that into the record, guys. Taylor Dixon won the Bahamas Golf Classic at Atlantis Paradise Island last week to kick off the Korn Ferry Tour season.
Which that stunk. That tournament stunk.
I know. I saw that in your notebook. We're going to get to it. And at the LAC, as they were calling it down in the DR, the Latin America Amateur Championship, Matteo Pulcini or Pulcini. Pulcini makes it sound very Italian. He was an Argentinian, I believe. He wins the Latin America Amateur Championship in a playoff. It was awesome. Good golf down there in Peru. But Solly, I'll turn it over to you.
Before we get rolling, of course, we'll give a shout out to our friends at Titleist. Earlier this week, Titleist introduced its new AVX golf ball. It's designed for tremendous distance and control with a very soft feel. You heard Neil. He talks about, his go-to, the new Pro V1X left dash. It gives him that low, long game spin with high flight and a firm feel. AVX is going to give you that same low, long game spin, but with a low penetrating ball flight and an even softer feel than the Pro V1. So one of the hallmarks of the AVX is its iron distance. A lot of people out on the streets are calling it the fountain of youth ball in Titleist lineup. I've been hearing that everywhere, giving a lot of players that extra half club of distance into the green. So if you got a big ego and you want to flex on your friends that you're hitting 8-iron in when they're all hitting 7-iron, check out the AVX golf ball.
The Ponce de Leon.
Titleist has also unlocked more greenside spin and control in this new model, which is that was the main point of feedback they were hearing from AVX players during the development process. So playing the right golf ball is critical to playing your best and shooting lower scores, whether it's Pro V1, Pro V1X, Pro V1X left dash, AVX. You owe it to yourself to find out the best flight, spin, and feel performance for your game. Both the new AVX and new Pro V1X left dash are in golf shops worldwide this Wednesday, January 21. You can go to Titleist.com to learn more. Out to Honolulu at Waialae for maybe the last time, almost certainly the last time. We'll talk a little bit about that. Davis Riley took a 2-shot lead into the final round over DJ's boy Harry Hall, Chris Gotterup, and Kevin Don't Call Me Kendall Roy. But Gotterup took over early. Riley stumbled a bit on the back half of the back nine. Gotterup made 4 birdies on the front, then 2 more on 12 and 13. He had a 3-shot lead at that point at 15 under. Rolled in a nice birdie to the downwind 17th par 3. Really, really, really difficult green to hold, and he does it and cruised to a 2-shot win over Ryan Gerard. Played the 18th hole extremely conservatively, but I think it was Justin Ray tweeted the stat that he is one of just a few players. I'll get the exact tweet, to have won in 3 consecutive years. And I was like, that's not right. Gotterup hasn't won in 3 consecutive years. And I did forget he won Myrtle Beach in 2024 and, of course, won the Scottish last year and now has won the Sony Open in just pretty dominant fashion today. He pretty much bullied the golf course and the rest of the field.
Yeah, it was a pretty vulgar display of power out there with the driver. And not only was ball going far, good time for an AVX read on this podcast. I feel like not only was the ball going far, but it was the way he was doing it was pretty enthralling, right? He's hitting those heavy balls, but like low, like the BBs that people talk about, right? The apex on some of these drives was so low. Number 1, he hit it 43 feet in the air. Number 5, he hit it 31 feet in the air. 6, he hit it 61 feet. Number 9, the par 5, he hit it 25 feet in the air. And these are all rolling out to 350, 330, 320, 315. I mean, it's like, it's cool to watch. And then he steps up on, hole like 14 where he's got more room to run, and he hits it 125 feet in the air, So, I mean, it's not like he's got one go-to. He just was kind of, hitting these almost just true seeds all around the golf course and leaving himself these little wedges in. And yeah, that's just really hard to beat, man, when somebody can do that.
He's won what, 4 times now by the ocean? Myrtle Beach, Sony, Renaissance, and then and then he played well at the Open Championship last year. So he could be.
What was the 4th win?
Oh, did I conflate one?
Yeah, 3 times.
3 times.
3 times.
He played well at the Open as well.
Yeah.
But
It's he could be a links master in training.
So like on the like the PGA Tour's media site that has like radar data and stuff, like either something is wrong with it or he launched multiple tee shots today under 5 degrees and a couple under 2 degrees off the tee. Like I am flabbergasted. Like his vertical launch hole on the 3rd hole was 3.43 degrees. Like he did that multiple times this week. A bunch of like 3 degree launches, 4 degree launches, 2 degree launches. I don't know if they're with driver or with driving iron or whatever, but at one point I guess on the same hole twice this week, he rolled drivers through a bunker. Like he hit it so low and so hot that it went through the same bunker twice. Like I'm conflicted on this. I like Gotterup. I'm so impressed with him when he gets in contention. He just absolutely stunts on people. He just slams the door.
Call him an improper player.
You tell me, TC. It's hard to look at the wedge numbers and what we just witnessed today of just like, yeah, just pound driver, have 75 yards in, hit a pretty mediocre shot, but also make a ton of 25 footers and come away like super like enthralled as a proper player. But it's also hard to argue with the current state of professional golf, that approach and that skill set being something he has. I think this is not only like it's like 5th top 10 in his last 11 starts, I think as well. Like this is not a fluke at this point either.
5th top 10 in the last 11 starts. Sounds like you should have gotten him on the team.
He could have been the difference.
He did kind of shit the bed in the playoffs right before captain's pick time. And also, yeah, I'm torn on that. I thought he would have fit if Keegan would have done a good job like exacerbating people's skills, but he also didn't like do a good job of getting like the most out of like Scotty Scheffler. So I don't know if he would have done a great job out of getting the right part of Gotterup's game. He might have taken him and then had him teeing off the even holes as he did with Scotty on day 1. But
I'm interested to see what, not to be immediately jumping to what happens next, but a little bit. We've seen him win 3 times now, and he showed up in some big spots. And I just the numbers, if we're going strictly based on the numbers, which felt pretty meaningless today as he's driving the ball, and turning it into like a pitch and putt, basically. It'll be interesting to see if the iron play catches up, if the wedges catch up to what he's doing, off the tee and on the greens, because those numbers have not been great the last couple of years. That's definitely where he's been lacking. And when he has a good week, he finds himself up towards the top of the leaderboard and, has gotten it done a couple of times now. But yeah, Solly, you mentioned it, man. Those wedge numbers are bad for a guy that's hitting a lot of wedges into greens. And so, again, a lot of job security, controlling his own destiny. He's into every tournament he could possibly want to be into. I'm sure he'll put a lot of focus on getting that cleaned up and dialed. And if he does, man, it could be like
scary. Yeah.
Scary. Yeah, exactly.
He just seems like a dude. Like he's got that, like when he gets in the mix, he's got that nose for the ball a little
Yeah.
bit. Like he knows how to get it done, which can't really teach that.
I think you could have just stopped though, Deej, at like a lot of wedges into greens. Like that's kind of what I'm getting at is like get a lot of wedges in the game into greens. You're kind of good. Like you don't have to be a great wedge player to be a really, really good professional golfer if you drive it like that. For the record's sake, first in strokes gained off the tee this week, gaining over a shot per round. Basically Bryson numbers when it comes to driving this past week. Did win a PGA Tour event. I'd like to get a list of these guys together. Won a PGA Tour event, losing strokes to the field with approach, which is just really insane. But his chipping was that good. He was 5th around the greens and 7th in putting. Like first in driving, 5th in chipping, 7th in putting. Night. As long as you are keeping the ball on the planet heading into the greens, you're going to win that golf tournament. So,
I mean, he's poised too, right? He's 26, but he's got a couple years of PGA Tour golf under his belt now. You know, he's not seeing the courses for the first time. Like he's, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, there's a couple little concerning statistical things, but he seems like he's ready to absolutely hit the gas and go, you know, make it a 3 or 4 win season. Like I could see that happening. Solid. He might find himself in the big tone zone, so to speak, where he ends up playing too many hard events to win. I mean, I do mean that somewhat sincerely, right? Like if he was going out and playing a bunch of 3Ms and John Deeres and whatever, like he'd probably go out and win 3 or 4 times. But it's like, you've leveled up now, man. You're playing the majors, you're playing the signature events, you're playing like the big boy fields, and that's what I'm very interested. I was interested coming into this season where he would stack up against the, you know, now it's like where you at against Rory and Scotty and Xander and all of those guys instead of, you know, no offense to anybody, but some of the guys we saw on the Sony leaderboard today that he beat.
Porter tweeted this. This was interesting. PGA Tour wins since January 1, 2024. So basically, the last 2 seasons plus this week includes the hero. Scotty 15 wins, Rory 5, Hideki 4, Xander, Ben Griffin, Chris Gotterup 3. So only 3 guys have more PGA Tour wins since the beginning of 2024 than Chris Gotterup does.
Yeah. I still contend he's a better iron player than I think he's getting credit for. Like I think there's some noise in the data there. I think he's high variance. Like I think he's just streaky too. If you go through and look at like his tournament by tournament stuff, like the baseline and the foundation needs to get higher. But,
yeah. That's what, but to your point, I mean, I think when he has it, he squeezes it out, right. And takes advantage of his peak weeks.
Well, we really, we buried the headline there. Spieth was T23. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys want to start with that.
Oh, I thought the headline was VJ.
There's a lot of headlines, man. Robert McIntyre almost winning after TC left him off the best players without a major list. I mean, there was the you know, our guy Michael Brennan missing the cut, unfortunately, on the flip side of that one. Yeah, just a lot. My Harry Hall pick looking really good through 54 holes. But yeah, I would come back to Spieth as well. So I think that's a no-brainer. That's what most people are going to take away from this week. Structural integrity of the golf swing, man.
Are you panicked about Sahith getting hot? T31?
I'm not panicked about that. I hope he does. I love Sahith. I just don't think he's been a very good golfer.
That's fair. What do you think? What do you think? What will be a good year for Sahith this year?
Would love to see a win. I mean, it's a win, right? That's
he's got to win to get back into your good graces.
Yeah, like a real win. You know, like a real win. I don't want
things first. He's got to keep beating VJ
for sure. God, you want to talk about VJ?
Sure.
I mean, that's like I was saying it to you guys on Slack too, but it's the maybe this is a false flag. Maybe people aren't really like actually complaining about this as much as I don't think that's a false flag. Whatever the saying is, I don't think people are actually complaining about this as much as it probably seems. But to anybody who is complaining about VJ taking up a spot, VJ taking the career money, go fucking beat him, man. First things first, you got to beat him. And he beat a ton of guys this week. It's awesome. I love it.
What does he played with Zach Blair today? He beat Zach by 1. We told Zach, like, I don't think Zach has a tour card this year. So Zach, you're off the hook a little bit, but you beat Rico Hoey, who's hot in the streets right now, Matt McCarty, Nick Dunlap, global superstar Tom Kim, Brian Harmon, Johnny Kiefer, Keith Mitchell.
And that's like,
this goes on.
That's over 72 holes of PGA Tour golf. He's 62 years old. It's so sick, man. It's awesome.
I know VJ famously doesn't do a lot of media. I thought somebody had to get a mic in front of him. I couldn't find any transcripts or anything like that. What's the plan here? What's the plan this year? Was this a one time? Do you just want to play like 3 events? Are you playing like a lot out here? What's the word here?
I like that we don't know what the plan is.
Exactly.
I think that's exhilarating. That's
totally
awesome.
agree.
I hope he plays every single week.
And again, for the record, he does not take up a spot from any exempt PGA Tour members. He is taking up a spot, quote, for people that did not retain a tour card that are outside the top 100 from this past year and would be coming off the alternate list to get into these events. But yeah, you go beat him. Go beat him. And I don't think we can take away tour card. I don't think we'll have much of a tour left if we take away guys that that VJ beats this year. Yeah,
I agree.
Jacob Bridgman, T4 as well. Patrick Rogers still. I think we did. I thought we took him off the tour. I really did. We had a rule. What was the amount of starts you had? That if you hadn't won a certain amount of starts, you lost your card.
I forget. What was it? Like 400 starts or something like that?
He hasn't made 400 starts.
I don't know how many it was. It was a lot.
I think it was like 200. If you make 200 starts in the PGA Tour and don't win, we got to be careful about some.
Dude, I wasn't that far off. He's made 312 starts. This is 313. Yeah. I think we had it. I think we must have had 300. That must have been when he made his 300th. I think was when we're like, Patrick, we all like you. No, it's not personal. It's just business. But I just don't think we can keep doing this. It was a little bit more of that today.
So we got to be careful with some of our ideas on this pod. Roll app will put stuff into play really, really quickly. We got to be,
I also might say, unless you've won 15 majors, I just can't have you wearing your own logo on your hat.
Yeah,
we just can't be doing that either.
There's a lot of that going around these days.
I know. Well, I think that's a pretty good indice of the guys we need to look at as well.
I think Bridgman, after playing with him at the RSM Pro-Am, like, I will keep hammering that stock. I'm dollar cost averaging it, Sully. He got off to a slow start, made a bunch of bogeys, round 1 and round 2, 67, 64 on the weekend. And Ryan Gerard continues to be extremely hot player. He had the Chipotle fire emoji next to him for a certain portion of the afternoon,
which could mean anything.
An extremely hot player in the world. We're not going to say one of the hottest players in the world anymore, but he is an extreme hot player in the world. And Daniel Berger with a 64. Little signs of life on Sunday. Love that. Another guy that hits those low BBs like Gotterup. Gotterup just happens to hit it about 50 yards past him. But
it was fun to watch, especially like mid-tournament conditions wise.
Yeah.
Some good wind out there. It wasn't as lush as we've liked in years past, but like they've gotten a lot of rain, I guess, the last month or so. But always love watching Waialae in the wind.
Well, do you want to talk about that? Because we might not watch it anymore. Sony's contract is up after this year, I believe. And you couple that with the Kapalua stuff that we talked about on that podcast episode and some of the uncertainty around conditions there. The Hawaiian swing, I don't think this is reporting this or nothing is official yet, but kind of starting to feel like an open secret, maybe, that the Hawaiian swing might be no more going into 2027. So you got any feelings on that? What do you think when you hear that?
It's hard to be as excited as I am for the PGA Tour turning a new page, taking a bunch of really strong steps, and starting off the year losing 2 tournaments that I like watching. I think I'm still in on the macro picture of the roll up era and kind of what I think is coming down the pike, but I doesn't mean I like this in a vacuum, right? Again, kind of talk out of both sides of our mouth. I think we've wanted the schedule trimmed. I think we've wanted kind of a tighter championship window, and we don't need, to try to reach a certain minimum every single week. It's okay to take some weeks off. I believe that, but at the other side of my mouth is kind of like, I don't want Waialae to go away. I've watched this tournament for like 25 years now, probably in some capacity. Like it's above minimum threshold for me to enjoy a golf tournament in terms of a golf course that, it's not my favorite course on tour, but it's a good one. And I like watching golf in the prime time and love getting Rolf out there and felt like, felt like Golf Channel really helped bring the course a little bit to life more than they usually do this past week, with a little bit lower cams and just kind of easier production flow, it seemed. And I don't know, I'm bummed. I get it. I do get it. But it just seems like there's got to be a reason why the PGA Tour went to Hawaii for as long as they did. And I don't quite fully understand why that would be no more.
It feels a little bit like when NBC got rid of Roger Maltby and Gary Koch. We're like, yeah, no, a bunch of stuff needs to change on the TV side.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say like those two needed to go. Like that's not what I'm talking about. Like I like having those guys around. That's kind of how I feel about these events. I think you said it well. It's like, yeah, we do need to change. Let's turn over a new leaf in some areas, but like, come on, man, don't take those two away. Those two are great. It's a fun place to. I don't know. It's a fun way to start the year, and we talked about this kind of like off the mic, I think. The week of what should have been Kapalua, and it's just this year, I mean, does fall flat without Kapalua. I think, I think having that as the kickoff event is the juice, at least for me.
For sure.
I think just moving to a different course in Hawaii is not necessarily going to fill the same void. It's I don't know. It was fun as a 1-2 punch, but I think without Kapalua, it kind of ends up falling flat anyways, and then it just leaves you in kind of a weird spot, especially as a one-off tournament where guys aren't really going to go travel and play it, the big names anyways for the most part. So yeah, just kind of a weird one. But TC, anything else from you on that?
No, I'm in total wait and see mode. Like I want to see, I think Tiger intimated in one of his pressers, he was like, hey, like we'll see if we just rip the Band-Aid off and totally rethink this thing starting in 27 and really, go from there, or if it's more of a slow transition. But yeah, the proof will be in the pudding. But, hopefully there's other cool stuff that fills the vacuum. Otherwise it's like, all right, we're just going to go from 46 events to, let's say 22. And it's going to be the same, like 22 events that are on the schedule right now. Like that to me isn't the solution either. Like I think we need more stuff that moves around. I think we just need more variability and more variety.
How they fill that in, TC, is I think like the biggest outstanding question in men's professional golf at the moment. Because that's just not how like the mandated, even switching to a for-profit model, it's not how the mandated PGA Tour works. You can't just like take 24 events and just have them disappear. So they've proven that there is a market for what are now small purses in golf at Sony. Around, I don't know what Sony is exactly, around $10 million or whatever that is. Like there's a market for these tournaments. There's a market for people to watch them on television. It doesn't do great ratings, but like you still got to put on those tournaments and figure out how that fits into your offering to the professional golfers. And does that mean a super beefed up Korn Ferry Tour, or are there secondary PGA Tour events and championship level PGA Tour events, and how you brand all that is going to be a big question. I've been trying to dig around to figure out what the lead candidate is for a structure like that, and I have not been able to get any kind of answer on that. And I'm very, very curious how they handle all of that, because there has to be something like this tournament. Doesn't have to be this one exactly, but like Amex next week. Does it just I don't think you can just make all of these tournaments go away. I don't think that's going to make a lot of business sense.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think they know either. So, I think I think when they have a decent idea, I'm sure we'll start to hear some trial balloons for it to react to. But yeah, I don't know. I think we've been pounding the table for change for a long time, and we'll see what that change looks like. And if we, but I think roll-up and basically what I don't want to happen is just to beat the personality and the authenticity out of the tour, right? Like there's got to be, you can't be strangled or, just choked off by tradition. But at the same time, like there's certain DNA there that has to stay on some level.
And it has to still ladder up, right? I mean, you can't just create like this. Again, the biggest problem I've had with Live is the lack of like qualification for it. Like you can't create this, juicy upper layer without having the proper pathways through actual events that aren't just qualifying events to get there, right? Like I like the way the swing 5 and swing 10, I can't tell you how they work exactly, but I like the fact that you could play into these events. Like it makes these events mean something and gives you another extra layer to play for. So that's going to be, if you're going to, this idea of the season starting after football ends, I think would have to be some kind of separate championship structure. I don't think the actual golf season can start in February. I don't think that's a realistic option for the PGA Tour.
What if it's just thinking pie in the sky out loud here? Like, it probably looks something like either they keep the relationship with the DP World Tour going and you get Dubai and some of that stuff rolled in. And then heck, maybe it's the Australian Open, bump into early January. Right. And that's going on in the lead up to the Australian Open tennis down there, right? Like I think there's stuff you could do that doesn't require full field events, but that ladders into the schedule or says, hey, you know what? Like if you want to hit the ground running in January and February with your golf game, here there's ample opportunity here worldwide that is, well funded, well sponsored, that has good fields. It's not, it's maybe not going to be a full-fledged PGA Tour event, or maybe it is. Maybe it's a co-sanctioned deal, just like the Genesis Scottish Open,
Yeah.
Speaking of well-funded, today's episode brought to you by our friends at SoFi, the all-in-one finance app that helps you bank, borrow, and invest your money in one place. We're talking goals. On this podcast, we're always focused on getting better on the course, but New Year goals off the course matter too, especially when it comes to your finances. If high-interest credit card debt has been holding you back, SoFi could help you finally take control. With SoFi personal loans, you can consolidate your credit card debt into one low, fixed monthly payment with no prepayment fees and no late fees. Funding is fast. You can get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign, or SoFi can even pay your credit cards directly. Terms apply. SoFi has already helped members pay off over $33 billion in debt and was named NerdWallet's best personal loan of 2025. You can check your rate with no impact to your credit score and no commitment. If you're ready to simplify your money game, head to SoFi.com/NLU or click the link in the description here as well. This is a paid advertisement. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. If I was a real professional, I would have bridged that $33 billion in debt into the live section, but we're not quite ready to get all the way into that one.
They're only what, 20-25% of the way there?
Yeah, that depends.
I think that 5 or 6 billion number that's been floating around is light.
Well, they're going to make up for it by selling off these franchises that are all going to be worth $1 billion. But
That's true.
Before Deej, you're loving the new Tourcast, kind of the new features they got going there.
Just a small thing to shout out. This is just on the positivity side of things. I saw Tourcast is kind of you might remember like the old shot tracker that the PGA Tour had way back in the day. This Tourcasting, it always gets so far buried on the website. I don't know if you guys ever use it or not, but I just saw a random release or a note or something that they were adding more putting features. So I clicked in there, and man, it's awesome. Great way to see players' shot shapes, players' apex, players like how they stack up against the rest of the field. I feel like something that probably not a lot of fans either know exist or use nearly enough. And I just had a great time poking around on there today. And so I just wanted to say, if you haven't shouted that out or you haven't kind of looked into it, maybe look at it. It's a great way to catch up on somebody's round. That's what I did a lot of while we were down in the DR this week. Wasn't watching a ton of golf on Thursday and Friday. So catching up on there, and it was great. I just wanted to shout that out.
I will say on the app front, it is jarring that every time you load the app, like the little load screen on the app it's a hole at TBC Craig Ranch. I just think we can do better than that, guys. I'm going to put that in the suggestion box.
I wonder if they'll update it, because TBC Craig Ranch has been blown up, and
we'll
I
get
feel like
that's in my notes.
In your notebook as well
Later.
right?
Yeah.
Anything else kind of Sony wise? Morikawa missed the cut. Couldn't put it into the ocean, it looked like. Your boy Keegan missed the cut, Solly. Nick Dunlap continues to just have some white squalls kind of blow in with the driver every now and again. That talk about a tourcast thing. I was like, what the hell's going on with Nick Dunlap's driver? Like, let me see where some of these drives landed, and it's just big time left. He has put the left miss in play, which is crazy. I think lost
To
like
be fair, he made the cut. Like,
he did.
shot-
He did pretty well in round 1 and round 2. He kept it in front of him, and then round 3, I think he lost like 5 strokes off the tee or something like that. It
in
was
round 1, he shot 65, losing a shot and a half off the tee.
That was the good round.
Over a shot off the tee, and
Yeah.
he was first in approach.
I know, man. It's just crazy. Which the way that I drove it at Casa de Campo this week, I can relate to that pretty deeply. Not a fun way to play golf.
I just don't know how your swing can be that messed up to be dead last in driving, and he was second in approach for the entire week.
Crazy, man.
I truly don't understand how that works.
Yeah.
And in round 3, he lost 5.5 shots off the tee.
God.
And he gained 1.4 approaching. He was 13th
And I don't know. I know you guys aren't either, but like I don't like making light of it, like it's kind of a bummer. Like I like Nick and I want him to play really well, but it is one of those things that certain players just kind of have like that one attribute where it's like, oh, where are they at this week and how did they drive it this week? Let me check in on what's going on there. It is a storyline to follow, man, to see what's going on there.
It looks like it was, if it helps at all, it was too dry. He hit one OB. Now, granted, it was OB on 6, and then did it again on what hole is that? It's limited to a couple really bad swings.
Misses.
Yeah,
big misses. Yeah.
Also,
he had a few left misses in there.
Yeah.
Round 4 too. Just looking at it.
I don't know. Did you see Riley Davis Riley get TIO from the net on 9 TC?
No, I did not, Solly. You sent it over, and I made sure not to see it. That's not the game that I fell in love with long ago, and that I still love.
He was like past a bunker, and that was. But he went back. The relief was going to put him in the bunker, but instead he went behind the bunker so he could launch it up over the tree. I was just like, I just does not feel within the spirit of the game. But Ken Tackle was right there, and yeah.
On the Davis Riley front, we don't have to go super deep on this, but he's kind of one of those out of sight, out of mind players. I think when he's not on the leaderboard, no offense to him, you're probably not thinking about him a ton, right? And I remember him playing really good at the beginning of the year. I remember him, runner up at the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. And I think if you asked me, like, what, how was Davis Riley's season? I would have been like, oh, probably great. I assume,
Finished 46 in the FedEx.
Yeah, he probably made the Tour Championship, honestly. Like, I think he's, great young player. He had an atrocious second half of the year last year. And I spent some of my day-to-day just digging into that. Just a lot of red on that data golf page, man. Talk about a guy that hasn't been driving it well, hasn't been doing anything well going into that second half of the season. So was kind of rooting for him to get off the schneid a little bit and close that one out today. But it seems like maybe some of those driver and approach demons caught up with him in that final round.
Yeah.
But
they did a good job documenting that. He had bogeyed 6 and 7 and then pulled his drive on 8, hit a tree, went back into the hazard, and they're searching for it down there. And he's walking off the tee box, and the rules official told them they were on the clock. It was like, oh God, that has to be moving very, very quickly.
Very much so. He had a lot of quotes that were like that very stereotypical third or fourth year player on the PGA Tour, like, I just got to remind myself, like, how great my life is off the course. Like I just got to remind myself golf's not everything. I'm like, man, there's a lot of guys that go through that phase. I hope he comes out the other side.
A couple guys to shout out the rookie Sudarshan Yelamaraju. One of my favorite stories coming off Korn Ferry Tour last year. He finished T13. Pearson Coody as well, and then Dan Brown coming off the DP World Tour, getting a T19 too. So, and we saw some flashes from Adrian Dumont de Chassart early in the week. Started off with 64. He was 2 behind Nick Taylor and Kevin Roy starting out, and then kind of fizzled. But
you sent the the ADDC chart going up and to the right emoji into Slack, which would have been a good time for you to sell, TC. I hope you sold at that peak because it definitely crashed after you said that message.
I'm buying. He tied with Bud Colley, Jordan Spieth, Corey Connors, Mav McNeely.
If I was a true artist,
Arada.
I could find a way to praise Spieth finishing T24 and rip Adrian ADDC for finishing T24. But I don't have what you've got, TC. I don't have your stuff or your stuff plus. Learn this today. Kevin Roy, don't call me Kendall, is married to Chris Sabo's daughter. They brought that up on the broadcast.
I was having a fever dream when that I looked up at my TV.
You texted Brew. You said Sabo, and I thought you meant Sabo. I thought you meant Roy Sabatini. Wait, he's in the field.
No, even more unexpected. It was, Red Star Chris Sabo getting a shout out from Steve.
Every time I see Kevin Roy, I think Patrick Waugh.
Sure,
the old,
I think that too.
Goalie, and I just can't get out of my head.
Yeah.
So.
Of note, huge field at the Amex this week. I think 8 of the top 13 players in the world are scheduled to appear. Scotty going to be there. Cantlay, Ludwig, Russell Henley, Wyndham Clark, Matt Fitzpatrick, Ben Griffin, Harris English, Max Homa, Saad Tagala, Big Tone, Team Rose, Bobby Mack, Sepp Straka, Will Zalatoris. I don't know what's going on. I'm guessing Kapalua has something to do with this, but man, just an outrageously good field this week.
I gotta think so. I gotta think that's the Kapalua effect. But I do love when events kind of slowly, just seemingly out of nowhere, turn into just star parades. You know, like Torrey Pines kind of was like that before Tiger started playing every year, and then Tiger played, and then all the other guys were like, oh, well, then I'm playing that one too. You know, and it's good for the people of Palm Springs, right? Like that one was in danger of being quite irrelevant, I would say, even before before Rom won it, I would say. You know, I mean, before that, it was pretty fucking bleak.
Before that, it was a piece of shit fucking putting contest, according to Rom.
I'd still be that.
It is.
I'd like to see them put some teeth in the stadium course.
They might need to get some
teeth
fake
or the
wind.
dog.
Might need to get some fake wind going out there or something, TC.
Yeah. Also, just a little texture in the field, too. We got some past champions of the Amex, Jason Duffner, Nick Dunlap, Andrew Landry, and the Schlong.
Hey,
Long in the field, and then we've got Blocky in as the PGA section champion.
Yeah,
he's of course prepping for his star turn on PGA Tour champions.
That's tough. Since they got rid of Q School, I don't know how that's gonna. I guess just Champions Tour exemptions. I guess he's looking for there.
He did indeed say this week he's turning his attentions towards trying to get Champions Tour exemptions and wants to compete against Tiger Woods. He said, I'd never even thought about that in my life, but I literally had dreams about me coming down the stretch at a tournament against Tiger, which kind of seems like you've thought about it then, Mr. Block. I don't know how those two things work together, but yeah, I think he's going to get all the exemptions that he could possibly handle.
How is Blocky not, with all these guys that can't make it and injuries, and now we got to replace guys, like how's Blocky not in TGL? It feels like that would be the biggest
serious sports
no-brainer.
Yeah.
Also, this field did not do well as I predicted off the cuff last week. I don't think this field did well against the Blocky index that I was talking about. Which of these players is more famous than Blocky? The cream kind of rose to the top the final round here, but it was not looking good for the Sony for a while.
And I'm not seeing VJ in the field this coming week. It looks like he's staying in Hawaii to play at Hualalai.
I mean, he literally
Hualalai to Hualalai.
He could literally just take up that exemption just to get one, just to play this event.
Sure.
If you're not going to use it, it is true. If you don't use it, you lose it. I did hear that. Like, why not?
Well, they don't play again. Like, they play Hualalai, and then they have some time off. They play the Chubb down in Naples, and then they don't play again after that until March 6th. So he can just beat up the West Coast swing.
That's a lot of signatures out there, though. I mean, and Waste Management's a invitational. I don't know if he would get into some of those, but anyways,
Waste Management's an invitational.
It's not a full. It's like a 120 man field, right? It's not. It's not a full 156. I don't know exactly what the number is actually now. Maybe it's closer to 140, but it's definitely not 156.
Well, I think VJ's category should get him into that. If not, I'm going to write to the Thunderbirds personally.
I can look into that as we get there. At the Dubai Invitation, is this a new tournament? Did I miss this one? Okay.
No. I think Tommy won this a couple years ago, which is a shame on you for.
I thought it was as well, Solly. It's like, man, how many goddamn events are there in Dubai? It feels like
It's the doubleheader. They do the Dubai doubleheader. Tommy won it in 2024, the Dubai Invitational.
It's a
they had it in
pro-am,
2024 and 2026. They did not have it in 2025.
Okay, all right. I feel a little
conditions
better.
Were not right.
Is it did I see Jimmy Dunn out there? Is it a pro-am?
Who could say?
It's like a 60-man event. Nacho Elvira, he took a 2-shot lead in the final round over Shane Lowry, Marcus Armitage, the Bullet, and Dylan Fratelli. Shane Lowry had the lead playing the 18th. He went long left into a bunker, and his bunker shot came out way too hot, went in the water. He went on to make double, finished 2 back. At the same time, Elvira birdied 17 to take the lead. Back at -10, he parred 18 to win. Daniel Hillier finished second. Julian Guerriere, David Puig, Rory, and Shane Lowry all finished tied for third. Rory had a chance on 18, but bogeyed that one to finish 2 shots back. Didn't have a whole heck of a lot on this one other than just watch the YouTube highlights this morning. But
yeah. Also, how is Dylan Fratelli not on to live?
It seems like it would make so much sense.
Right?
I agree with you. Yeah, don't have a ton on this one either. Nacho, great interview. Not to paint with a broad brush, but I feel like whenever the Spaniards win, it's always a good post round interview. It was super emotional on the golf course too. Like, I don't know if you saw any of that, just like absolutely jawing at his golf ball and his caddy, and he was very, very,
the great man Sevi.
Very fired up, which was cool. But he had a great post round interview about it, having his family there and all that stuff. Rory swing looks just awesome. I know it always looks awesome, but coming out of the winter freeze, it's good to see Rory golf swings up on my TV, and it's good to just see him. That was a short field, but like good to see him in form because we got some banger PGA Tour events coming up, and I'm just really, really want this 2026 season to be a continuation of kind of Scotty versus Rory, because I feel like they each played really great, obviously really great golf, but almost separate from each other last year. I was thinking about that, and I really want to see them just go head to head at as many events as humanly possible. And we've got some really good ones coming up. So that was that's a very PGA Tour centric takeaway from that Dubai event, but that's kind of what I was thinking about.
We get a good one over there this week.
Yeah.
Dubai Desert Classic.
Also,
guys, I totally forgot I bought this. It came in the mail while we were gone. It's that the Open sweater. I'm really excited about it.
Gosh, I thought you were. I know you told me when you ordered that. I thought you were going to keep it a surprise. Just break that one out for a live show.
I do have a mea culpa. 3 guys on the career money exemption did get into Waste Management last year.
Thank you, Solly.
Huge.
It is a 132-man field. TC, can you name the 3 guys that played last year on the career money exemption in Phoenix?
Zach Johnson.
Yeah, Zach. Big Tex Jimmy Walker.
No. One guy is in TGL. He plays for my favorite team.
Kisner.
Evan Kisner.
One guy is famous. He puts $10 on a golf ball and throws it into the crowd.
Ryan
Palmer as well. And an
Mr.
assistant U.S. Ryder Cup captain.
Stu Sink.
Brant Snedeker.
Oh, okay.
Three of those in the prior year. All right, let's get to some fallout of the big Brooks Koepka PGA Tour news from this past week. Live Golf had some sort of media day earlier this week.
Teams week.
Saw the quotes.
The cliques were all together down in South Florida.
The quotes were plastered everywhere. Just fly the banner. Bryson commits, strongly to Live Golf. Dylan DeChair tweeted a bunch of these videos out. I'm just going to play the audio from some of these guys. So the big question after all the fallout was, all right, there's 3 guys that are basically invited by the PGA Tour to come back, and they have to decide before February 2nd. Bryson DeChambeau, John Rahm, and Cam Smith. If you listen to our emergency episode that we recorded this past Monday, I think the general consensus from all of us was that I did not expect any of those 3 to make the switch, but they were asked about this, and here's Bryson, who is first to answer.
There's obviously some significant news in the golf world yesterday. Before we open it up to the room and the media gathered here, Bryson, I'm just curious if you want to share your thoughts on some of the recent developments.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm contracted through 2026, so excited about this year.
All right.
Boom. We're on to Cincinnati, man.
Why is Keimer up there?
I was trying to figure out the through line. It's got to be major champions, maybe.
Major champion captains of
Sure.
teams.
I don't even know how the captaincy works for most of those teams, but yeah, not really a full throated battle cry there for Bryson as far as flying the banner for Live Golf. But yeah,
And then he posted that exit picture.
our guy might be just lost in making content, man. Yeah,
It's not her.
Lost the analytics and the engagement online.
addicted to the engagement.
I found this interesting, and I'll play the other two answers here shortly. But I looked this up earlier this week. Kalshi, one of those predictive market things, has a market on this. Like, you can bet actually on this. The question is, who will rejoin the PGA Tour before February 3rd, 2026? This was from, I think, Wednesday when I screen grabbed this. Bryson was 9%, Cam Smith 4%, Rahm 3%. I went to check this right before we started recording. Bryson's up to 45% in the live Kalshi market. These things are kind of suspicious. There's a lot of, insidery, trade-ish things going on a lot of this, but to jump that big in just the course, I think it just happened this Sunday evening. It went from like in the solo single-digit percentages up to 45%. Was surprising, and I have no idea if it is noteworthy, but that got my attention here. I still, again, don't think as I'm saying this, he's down to 42%. But
So what's the volume on that, Solly?
I don't know how to read
like,
these.
It could be
sites.
like one dude just, a whale coming in, and like I hate this stuff.
Stuff's
like
pretty
Kalshi
fucking
stuff.
bleak.
Yeah.
Probably a good time to mention that I believe Bryson also signed with Kalshi as an ambassador this week, which is pretty bleak Mad Lib as well. Yeah, I don't know. Solid, is this you trying to move the line or something? Are you trying to?
Oh, I just
wet your beak on this.
I'm one of those, like
staying
Nancy
away from that stuff.
Pelosi, just trying to get a
Just
nibble.
follow the Pelosi tracker.
Nancy Pelosi showed up at the Bob Weir Memorial. It was like a jump scare where they're like panning across the screen and all the people up on stage singing songs. It was wild to see that.
John Rahm was also asked a similar question here at the media day.
I would ask the same thing to you as well. Yeah, I'm not planning on going anywhere. So, very similar answer to what Bryson gave. I wish Brooks the best, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm focused on the league and my team this year, and hopefully we can repeat as champions again. Okay.
Are these guys just hung over as fuck? Like, can you not like fake like a little bit of enthusiasm for these dudes that are paying you hundreds of millions of dollars to play this thing? Like, I get it. Your souls are crushed by this thing at this point, but I mean, come on, give us a little bit of energy.
Also, why'd they have their whole symposium, teams week in Palm Beach? Of all places. Isn't that strange?
Yeah, I don't know.
Feel like they've done that before. I don't know.
Maybe the old PGA of America headquarters was just vacant space.
Cam Smith asked as well.
I mean, I really don't have any thoughts. I haven't had a lot of time to think about it, but I know I'm here to stay. I'm here to support Liv. I'm a captain of a great team and a great group of people. So I'm happy where I am. I'm proud of where I am. I think we're doing many great things, particularly in Australia, and I can't wait for this league to keep growing.
All right. Well,
see,
now we're talking.
That's an endorsement.
Yeah.
That's an endorsement.
That's how you.
Man, that is stark compared to those first two. Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, like I totally believe Cam, and God, I don't know, man. Like, why would you be that curt? I get unless Bryson is truly playing this negotiation this hard of like, yeah, I'm going to publicly fuck with you on the stage at your own media day until you give me $500 million to resign. Sure,
Do you know
but
how long Rahm is signed for?
No, I feel like we heard 6 years when he signed, which would be 4 more years.
Four more years.
Stick to sports, Solly, right?
Oh man, that's a big mountain to look up at.
But again, I do not know. I do not know the answer to that. But God, I'm contracted for this year, so excited for it.
But the Legion 13 is going to be worth $1 billion soon.
All 13
hit the gas
franchises will be worth $1 billion. Live Golf. This was a lot of groundwork. Live Golf CEO Scott O'Neill said Wednesday, a lot of groundwork right now to prepare ourselves for that. Also, Live Golf head of team business operations Katie O'Reilly indicated the efforts are ongoing. Our goal is to build $13 billion franchises. That is our goal. Are we there yet? No, but right now we are building the foundation for that. Valuation of the Royals, the Marlins, and I think one other MLB team I forget is around $1 billion. So just a reference point to that. Again, we did this trivia question this week. I asked you guys to name the 4 players on the Korean team. How many can you name? We just did this week. Could you name them?
Danny Lee.
Yeah,
That's
Danny
correct.
Lee. Ben On.
That's correct.
Ben On. No chance.
Unichiro.
No, we tried that. He was Japanese.
It's Youngin Song and Minkyu Kim. With the other 2 on that soon to be $1 billion franchise. So, on the PGA Tour side of the house, Tiger, Jupilinks, tough week this week for us up against the big market team up in New York. We lost that game, but afterwards, Tiger Woods was asked about the current situation and gave about a 2.5-minute answer, and here that is.
Well, we received his letter on December 23rd that he wants to come back. Wrote to the commissioner and Brian. We took that letter, then took it to both boards and tried to implement a plan that would be fair and adequate, that justifies Brooks' time away from our tour. The penalties served, the fines if necessary, what the integration would look like on our tour, and obviously the bonus payouts, yes or no. And we had lots of subsequent meetings, worked through the holidays. There was no days off, and we just worked through it day after day after day. And we came out with a plan that we unveiled. And yes, we're not going to satisfy every player. This plan was created for a very select few players that met the criteria. You know the names. And as far as his integration, he has the right, I think, in our sport with our meritocracy that we have on the PGA Tour, that he has the right to earn his way into signature events. And if he plays well enough, he has a chance to earn his way into the playoffs. But he's not going to get the bonus pool from that. But he has a chance to earn his way into those fields. Plus, on top of that, he's not taking a spot away from any player. Okay, that was one of the main concerns. And one of the big things that myself and the other player directors demanded that was never going to be the case. He's an additive. And then on top of that, to fill out the group, or if it happens to be in a summer where it's 2-somes or it happened to be where it's 3-somes, there's 2 more players that could get in. So the alternate list, I think they're going to be impacted getting in 1 or 2 more events, which is a positive thing. And on top of that, we get probably top 3 of his generation player back that went to another tour, played over there, and was adamant about coming back here and got out early to come back. That says a lot about the PGA Tour, where we're headed, what we have done, what we accomplished, and the players who have stayed and have supported the tour. Having another world-class player that these guys are going to try and beat, that's what the fans demanded. That's what the fans wanted for our fan initiative program. And I think we've addressed that.
Man, I have 5 things I counted from that. 1, Akshay just nodding along to everything like AJ Hawk on the McAfee show or something. 2, nobody has the same color shirt on, which makes me laugh. Just very little league or like beer league softball kind of vibes from that. 3, Tiger looking swole, just kind of for a guy that probably can't do a lot of exercising right now. I know he's cranking it up in the gym lately, but that's a good one. 4, Tiger, we don't need you working through the holidays, man. Why are we like
no days off?
There's just no days off. We're working through the holidays. You know, everybody knows what the mission is. And 5, I think I just love from both of these clips that you played, or both of these sets of clips, just like big seismic events going on in the world of golf being discussed in the most silly venues imaginable. You know, like we're talking about Brooks Koepka breaking his contract, and the greatest player of all time is talking about reshaping the PGA Tour, and it's in the bowels of the SoFi Center after a fucking simulator night. It's like
standing next to Kevin Kisner.
Yeah, just the whole thing is so weird. It's so weird and really funny if you could let yourself get there. So thank you for playing that.
I honestly hadn't thought of like more people might get into the field when Brooks gets. I mean, it was a lengthy answer from Tiger, but it shows a complete line of thinking and a complete like direction. We have clear direction here as to what we're doing. We're confident in this. We're not wishy-washy on it. You know, some people might be pissed off, but like, here's the deal. This is why we did this. And I thought that was one of Tiger's better answers, really, ever.
Also, why is Brooks sending the letter to the commissioner and Roll App? You don't have to send anything to the commissioner anymore. You need to go straight to the top. Commissioner doesn't work here anymore. All right.
He's on his apology tour, man. He's got to work with every individual. He said he's got his repair relationships with everybody.
I like Spieth had some good quotes this week about that. Basically trying to take some of the air out of that. That idea. I was like, yeah, I don't think he needs to just walk down the driving range and like shake everybody's hand. Like just go out, just show up and play good golf, man. So that's all we really need you to do.
I bet there's 30 or 40 guys though that some of these journeymen who would love him to come up and shake their hand.
I'm sure,
just so they can get their pound of flesh.
Might be. I wonder if I always, no offense to Chesson, but I always think about Chesson Hadley. Like, you know, I expect to be rewarded for my loyalty. I wonder if he's gonna go put a finger in Brooks's chest out of the range.
Bony ass finger.
I feel like the equity program does a lot of that. I think one guy, Brooks, who might have to go seek out and shake their hand is Wyndham Clark. He was on Gravy in the Sleeves on Sirius XM, asked about this, and here is his full answer on this.
The big news going around the golf world right now, Brooks Koepka being reinstated to the PGA Tour. When you heard the news, what were your first thoughts?
This is the first time I'm hearing it.
Yeah. Well, breaking news. There it is, Dub.
I'm just kidding. Gosh, I'm so torn. I mean, I personally really like Brooks, and I think it's ultimately really good for the PGA Tour, but also, a guy that had an opportunity to go to live, it's kind of frustrating that, he's able to, get the cake and also eat it. So I don't know. I'm very torn because at the end of the day, I want whatever's best for the PGA Tour. And I think if guys come back, especially top players like Brooks, it's only going to help the tour, which is ultimately going to help me. So yeah, I mean, I don't know really how I feel. I wish maybe there was a few more repercussions, but I'm glad the things that they set in place, I think are pretty decent. And I also like the hard deadline. I think that's good. I just hope they stick with that and they don't waver on that maybe in like a year or two.
Wyndham wants more repercussions. How about that? Dub. I mean, nobody negotiated longer and harder with Liv than that guy. Of course he's pissed that Koepka can come back scot-free.
I feel like those statements. I appreciate those statements. I think that's a totally valid place to be, of like feeling frustrated, yet obviously it makes sense, right? I didn't hear a lot of sour grapes in that, other than like, I'm sure it is frustrating, but I think it is 4 years later, and it's time to just eat it and move forward. And I guess I somewhat appreciate Wyndham at least voicing that, of like, yeah, it is still frustrating, but like it's ultimately better for the PGA Tour. And I also appreciate him saying like, let's if we're gonna like throw a threatening deadline out there like this, let's stick to that, right? Because what happens a year from now if Bryson, does want to come calling, and you're gonna make him sit out another year? That's 2 more years without Bryson. Like, yeah, you do kind of have to stick with this. I do agree.
Yeah, agree with that.
I think if Bryson wants to come back in 3 months, they're going to let Bryson back, or they're going to I don't think that they're going to stick to that with Bryson. I think they would stick to that with some of the other guys, but not with a Bryson. And I think they would get Ron back into the fold if given the opportunity. I think those are the 2 other guys that supersede.
I feel like this is maybe this is obvious, but I just am kind of obsessed with this, like, go back in your time machine and what if I told you type of thing. And I just go back to, really, like, the Bryson and Brooks kind of feud, right? It was probably the low point for Bryson as far as everybody's making fun of me type of stuff. And just imagine if you told that guy, like, yeah, the guy that everybody's yelling, "Hey, Brooksy," at, and who's freaking out on fans, trying to get him to stop. And, Brooks is buying beers for everybody who harasses. Like, if you went and told that guy, just so you know, you're about to be the most valuable player in the game of golf, and you can demand anything you want from sovereign wealth funds, from leagues, there's going to be people just competing to have you on their tour, playing their events, playing on their channel, doing collabs. It's just man, wild times.
Do you think there's do you think Bryson will end up re-signing with Liv? Like, do you think it's going to be the big multi-hundreds of millions of dollars?
I don't know. Truly.
I mean, what if Liv turns into like souped up creator classics?
It's not a bad idea. Again,
it's basically like Bryson's, like, Liv turns into like Bryson's YouTube channel, like the live element of Bryson's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I don't know how to react to that. I'm not
with you.
I'm not ready for that.
Like that to me feels more plausible than the status quo going on for another 3 or 4 years, or him going back to the tour.
I think what you're saying, tell me if this is what you're saying, but I would agree with it if so, is like, I don't think Bryson for $500 million or whatever, plus a bunch of like touring professionals you've never heard of, is a viable product.
Yeah.
Then it's definitely not viable without Bryson. So
right. So that's what I think the most viable would be Bryson plus a bunch of other people you've like vaguely heard of who are willing to like play sort of goofy golf on camera. Get him on the fucking team, man.
Let's move on a bit. I want to give a shout out to our friends at Loch Lomond Whiskeys, the official spirit of the Open since 2018 and Scotch sponsor of No Laying Up. If you've ever wondered what whiskey pairs best with golf, this is it. Loch Lomond is setting a new standard in single malt excellence. They're no strangers to championships, having recently been named IWSC Scotch Distillery of the Year and winning 10 best-in-class awards and over 70 gold or better medals across their Scotch portfolio, including the original, 12, and 18 years old. What makes Loch Lomond whiskey stand out at the 19th hole? Their unique distillery combines innovative, remarkable stills with a distinctive approach to maturation to create exceptional flavor with a signature style of fruit, honey, and just a touch of soft smoke, perfect after a round or while watching the Open. For golf fans who believe true craft comes from passion and patience, elevate your whiskey game and check out LochLomondWhiskies.com or ask for Loch Lomond at your favorite spirits retailer. TC, take us down to Peru.
Yeah, that was a good thing to Peru was a good thing to watch today. It was bleak here in Jax, just kind of Scotch weather, right? It was poor little Dram and throwing the football. I watched a bunch of the LAC, and I'll be honest, man, we were down there last year for it in Argentina, and the course that they had it down in Argentina just didn't do it for me. It was like a Nicholas resort style course out in the country, just not a lot of charm. And Lima Country Club was right in the middle of the city this time around. Big tall buildings all around it, old school golf course, and just pretty striking. And the golf was good. I watched a ton of it on Saturday. It was on ESPN2 or ESPN News. And then again, we had Rich Lerner on the call. Andy North was down there. It was delightful, and the Argentinians showed up in a big way. Andy Schoenbaum was leader kind of the first half of the tournament. And then I'm trying to think of the other kid's name. The kid that was wearing the Sambas. It was a killer look. Is Segundo Pinto. And then they had there was a Venezuelan kid who goes to Mizzou in the playoff today against a guy that was absolutely delightful in the 25-year-old Argentinian Matteo Pulcini. So they were making putts down the stretch. Like it was pretty volatile. It was, I think, 5 under got in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was just like I was more taken by that. I missed the first half of the Patriots Texans game because I was locked in on the LAC and I kind of forgot that playoff football was going on. So, yeah, just great stuff. I think they're going to Mayakoba next year. So not necessarily the same vibes that you would get from a city course in Lima, but I know like this course, they were supposed to have it there, during COVID, I think, and then it got canceled. And so they got delayed and they finally had it, they finally had their event in 2026. And I know it was a big deal for everyone down in Lima. So great event.
A cool story with the guy who won too, right? Is 25, kind of a late, I don't know if late bloomer is necessarily the right term, but not really a college star. Started out at either D2 or kind of like state college. It was like, I forget which college it was that they were shouting out, but eventually transferred to Arkansas and finished up there and has remained amateur through, age 25. Now this year with this win, he gets into the Masters, the U.S. Open, the Open Championship. He gets into the U.S. Amateur. He gets into the British Amateur. So he's got like a full slate of awesome amateur golf. And so he'll get through all that and, probably be, I don't know when his birthday is, but 26. And then it's like, do you launch a pro career at 26? Do you call it, kind of a stay amateur and keep trying to go down that road? It's just kind of an interesting spot. Like you said, I mean, he's a big dude, big character, looks like big personality, and really magnetic and fun to watch, and kind of adds a storyline to all of those, for more casual fans, like adds a storyline to all of those majors I mentioned, which is kind of the whole point of this tournament, I think, is like to bring people out and showcase all these different countries and territories and stuff that are filling up this field, and then hopefully give all the people in those places someone to root for at these big ass events. So yeah, it is a cool, you can see the through line, and it's very cool.
Yeah. Well, it just feels so much more authentic when it's like in a city like that too. Yeah. When there's a sense of place and also, like, no offense to everybody down in the Cayman Islands, some of my bankers down there. But, I mean, they just don't. That just doesn't feel like it's part of Latin America quite as much as, like, having they get from Venezuela or Colombia or Paraguay or Brazil on there.
Well, we've talked about this pretty much. I know my eyes were open going to the Asia Pacific Amateur. Like, this was 2.5 years ago now when I was at Royal Melbourne, and seeing like, okay, here's what I understood. Like, yeah, there's Asia Pacific Amateur, there's a Latin America Amateur Championship. The winner of it gets to go play in the Masters. That's the headline, right? And there's only a few really top players in it, but it's pretty cool going to it and realizing, like, the purpose of this tournament is not only, like, there's an incredible carrot at the end of it, but like the links that the RNA, USGA, and Augusta National go to put this event on, the cash they put out for this event, like they put, like the idea here is to grow the game of golf in a lot of different locations, right? I mean, they are inviting people from the Bahamas. They're inviting people from Haiti. They're inviting people from Brunei at the Asia Pacific Amateur, from Nepal. Like, they're inviting people from countries that are not known for golf, but, it helps kind of boost all of their national programs in a lot of these countries that have them around golf, and give them a goal to work towards, and give, figuring out people to give exemptions to into this tournament. And they pay for it once it happens. They put all these people up. They feed them incredibly. They host galas for them. Like, it's a huge event. A bunch of the Green Jackets fly down for it and go support it as well. And it is just kind of it's a remarkable, I guess, initiative that they probably still don't get enough credit for how they're doing it. And it gives an incredible prize to the winner. And it's that kind of thing is what is going to sow competitive golf in a lot of these places. The tail of it might be long, I know the big payoff, the biggest one they've had, like Neiman came out of this event. Hideki Matsuyama came out of the Asia Pacific Amateur. Like they've had major kind of wins that ladder up to the Masters and a lot of the majors. But even if a lot of these guys are not going to end up playing in major championships, but get kind of the golf experience of their life. And it's, again, for all the grow the game shit, we give a lot of people massive, awesome grow the game initiatives in a lot of places that they're doing this.
Yeah.
We were also in Latin America this past week. We took our first ever trip to Casa de Campo. We were growing the game at a resort in the Dominican Republic. We did leave the resort once to go to a baseball game. I don't know if the Toros have played since last Thursday, but they had
the championship game, I believe. I don't know how they did, but people can look that up on their own time.
Okay. And we were it's a 3-time host of the Latin America Amateur Championship as well.
That's right.
That's exactly right. We had never been there, never played Teeth of the Dog, had heard a lot about it. Of course, Pete Dye Golf Course down there in the DR. TC, what did you expect out of Teeth of the Dog? We're going to have a whole video. We filmed the whole thing. A bunch of us went. It's going to be a couple months probably before that comes out. Had kind of a cool concept with this. So obviously, we're not going to spoil any of that as well. But we want to talk about this a little bit on the podcast as well. But TC, what was your reaction to playing Teeth of the Dog for the first time?
Yeah, I thought, I'd heard a lot just about Casa de Campo in general, the resort. My parents had been down there a couple of times, and it lived up to expectations. What a substantial piece of land property. Not only just Teeth of the Dog, but played the links course, played Die 4 as well, and pretty wild to have. And then between those three and then La Romana, 4 Pete Dye golf courses on the same plot of land. The oceanfront holes on Teeth of the Dog are just insane. I was a little bit surprised. Like when you get up to 10 through 12 or 13, it feels like you're playing Rainer McDonald stuff on Long Island or something. And then you get back out, like you go past, the kind of really cool par 5 on 14, then you get back out to the ocean there. But the closing stretch is nails. It's past Palom. They've gone through a recent Jerry Pate renovation. There's probably some Jerry Pate stuff there that I could take or leave. I think just as far as some of, like you said, the second hole, like bunch of great detail work. And then I was like, all right, like let's bring that out through some of the spots on the rest of the course. But yeah, just, I don't know, just like really everything I love about Pete Dye golf courses, like at TPC Sawgrass or Harbor Town or Long Cove, and small greens on the par 5s, and just awkward, it just makes you think, and it just keeps you on tilt and those little counter punches the whole time. So, but yeah, that closing stretch, 15, 16, 17, like that's legitimately on par with Cyprus as far as like the plot of land that you're playing on, and the way you lock in, and the way like the waves are crashing below you and the sun's setting behind you. It's crazy good.
It hits hard, man. This was everything I wanted Kiowa to be, and it's just not. Kiowa just does not use the ocean very well. And look, it's, it was a feat of engineering, even building that golf course. And it's not, it's probably apples to oranges in terms of building it and what you can do from an environmental standpoint and how the tides work and marsh and all that stuff. I get that. But like that Teeth of the Dog was one of the best uses of the ocean in terms of the proximity that you're playing on. The 5th green, I've never seen a hole sit that low next. Granted, it's technically the Caribbean Sea or whatever, but it is like a massive body of water with waves. And that 5th green just looks like one wave could take it out like immediately. It's so freaking low to the ground. And it just, there's always so many concerns about building stuff there with erosion and all this. And they seem to have figured that out incredibly there. And that the stretch from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is just like, oh my God, that's amazing. Feel like they kind of wasted the best part of the beach on the front 9. And then you play that 15, 16, 17 stretch and like, well, okay, well, that's even better somehow. That's like a better version of like what Cabot Cliff should be. It is probably closer to Cypress, but it is like, man, I've played a fair amount of Pete Dye golf courses, but like a Pete Dye on the ocean, like sometimes feels like it's in the ocean, that's kind of a one of a kind golf course. And it is uniquely challenging and really, really, really fun to unlock. It's not, Pete Dye is not my favorite architect of all time. I feel like you can, fun to play periodically, and you're in for a certain kind of challenge. But this combination of the Ocean and Pete Dye had me just like very, very, very stoked to play. I would like to play that course 10 more times. It's definitely we got a little argument at dinner because I'm getting carried away again. Like, is it better than TPC Sawgrass? Like, I think I'd rather play Tee of the Dog than TPC Sawgrass.
I enjoyed it a lot more the second time too, particularly the inland holes, because TC, I think you said, you were kind of alluding to it. Like, I am not Mr. Golf Course Architecture or Mr. Construction or any of that, but they just went through a big restoration, renovation type of thing, and it's still on some of those inland holes feels a little almost like it's due for one of those. It almost feels a little, some of the bunkering and stuff feels a little tired. You almost kind of feel like you're at any course in Florida when you play those, and they don't really grab you the first time around. The second time around, I really enjoyed 9 more, 11 more, 12 more, 14 more. Like, I liked him a lot more the second time around. And granted, I should preface all of this with I got my ass kicked and played horrible golf, so you can pretty much throw out my opinion on how most of those holes play probably. But yeah, nothing to add to what you guys said on the Ocean stuff. Is absolutely stunning. The only thing I would add, I guess, is just how well it's routed in regards to the wind. Like every hole seems to play for the wind that we got, and what I assume is the prevailing wind. You have it down pretty much the whole way on that front 9. When you get out to the Ocean, you're playing these like what would be really, really hard holes in a different wind, playing them down, and
they're kind of a cross. They're like down and cross, so
but they're not like
really
blowing you out to sea. Like you're not like hanging on for dear life. It feels like it's helping more than it's hurting. And then you flip around and you kind of hit that 180 on the other side of the property, and you start working back the other way down the coast, and you're like, holy shit, I had to strap in here for these 15, 16, 17 are all like really big asks, but really fun, and there's a ton of width. It's like it's really hard, but there's also it's a resort course at the same time. There is plenty of space to hit the ball, but you can't help but try the hero shot pretty much every time and watch your ball fly into the ocean or whatever. It's really good, man. Really, really fun. I had a great time, and easy to get to as well would be the other thing I would mention. It's like I flew direct from Chicago. I think it was like 4 hours. It's basically the same as trying to get to LA or something like that from here, so it was cool trip, and a place that was a total blind spot for me. Really glad we went and saw it. I think the video is gonna be really cool.
I'll be curious to see how it grows in. Like we saw it pretty young with since the redo. I just don't know. I don't know. I got to do more diligence on Jerry Pate, because I don't know. Like, there's a lot of thoughtful Dye, disciples and acolytes and just restoration guys out there, and I don't know exactly what year you would bring this back to, because Dye worked on it and evolved the course throughout the arc of his life. But at the same time, I don't know, just hearing some of the Jerry Pate stuff with like what he's done at Mossy Oak in Mississippi since kind of being part of the ownership group there, or some of the choices he made in certain spots at Casa de Campo. I'm like, okay. Like, that's an interesting choice for the guy to steward what is, essentially like a historical landmark at this point. Like, it's kind of the end all be all of resort destination golf. Like, it was ahead of its time. I mean, this thing was, it's 50 years old at this point. Like, they weren't doing shit like this back in 1975,
And really cool stories about the old days of when that resort got opened up and how they used to have to get people there, and the runway that ran through the golf course, and
he took out the runway.
There used to be a little remnants of it on the 18th hole that are now have been taken out, but just a cool place, cool people, and great hospitality.
And Die 4, the other course, like Die 4 was spectacular. There's some crazy cool stuff out there, and it's like Pete Dye in this. It's like mountain Pete Dye.
Yeah, looks like the bridge on the River Kwai out there. I mean, it's like
the
really
depth
cool.
perception was like I didn't sleep for 2 or 3 nights after that. The depth perception messed with me so bad.
It's like a very diet Kapalua Pete Dye course was the vibe I got of just kind of long grass out there in between holes, but wide and tons of elevation change and undulation in the fairways and stuff like that. And yeah, it was great. It was an awesome winter trip. If we made that an annual thing, I certainly wouldn't fight back on that.
Amen.
All right, let's go through the TC notebook and let's get a little rest tonight.
Yeah, guys. First and foremost, there was a reply actually to a tweet from Conrad Schindler.
Oh, Texas A&M golfer back in the day, I believe.
Yeah, he said Colt Knost was saying something about just hey, what's the word on TPC Craig Ranch? And Schindler said, I think it's bad. Green complexes are out of control. 2 to 4 foot ridges, extremely sectioned off shelves, just extremely overdone. Someone will play well and win, no doubt, but you will see plenty of good shots go unrewarded, some severely penalized. And all I have to say there is hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
I had some DMs to that effect as well, of people being like, you are going to be aghast at what they've done to this place.
Really?
It is turned up. Yeah.
Which is, I mean, if it's gonna, like, if it's
rather that or a dart fest,
for
like
sure.
truly.
Totally.
If it doesn't have the capability to be good, I'd rather it be interesting, at least.
Said it was interesting. Yeah.
So I was speaking of interesting. Did you guys see the new TGL hole from Gil?
Was it the toll?
Last hole?
Yeah, I did see that. I like it.
Quote, it asks for courage under the truss, touch over the road, or craft around the tires. There's no toll. Solly, I believe your response was fuck yeah. So more of this, just like,
Yes. No more real golf holes on TGL.
Yeah.
I think it has to get sillier and sillier.
On that note, TC, you sent over the Bamberger, the Michael Bamberger experience of attending TGL in person, and I just would probably I would encourage everybody to go seek that one out on golf.com. Just an absolute banger. I'm so in the bag for anything Bamberger writes, obviously, but his just kind of point of view, I think as a one of the most cultured men, I would say, in the game, breaking down everything from the mandatory valet parking to the first ever, it sounds like the first ever shot he's hit inside a simulator through one of the activations, and just the whole thing is superb, and I think mirrors certainly how Randy would probably feel going to a TGL match, but probably how I'm starting to feel more and more as well.
I think the valet parking, no option for self parking really threw him for a loop. And then I think there was a great line in there. Quote, I cannot think of a sports league where the founding principle was to make money for team and league owners, but maybe TGL will be the exception.
That was the thing that stuck out to me as well. I was going to bring that up during the live discussion, where it's like, maybe we shouldn't start with the $1 billion franchises. Maybe we should just like make it enjoyable to watch. Yeah. Yeah.
Horath had a good piece in the Fried Egg about just, through the lens of Hawaii and potentially losing that as well, just from a, kind of what it says about misplaced priorities in professional sports and what our values are, and kind of, just generally speaking, like, hey, how do we move forward without losing the stuff that made the tour special to begin with and made people fall in love with it, and that sense of place, right? So I would highly encourage people seeking that out. That was about 2 weeks ago on January 6th, but it says it's more evidence sports have lost their way is the name of the essay.
I loved
Horath working on a holiday.
I love that piece as well. I've been thinking about that one a lot, and particularly like his he's got a great takedown of the people who are seemingly more interested in like college football ratings than they are actually watching college football. I believe was kind of like his way into this
The
whole
marker of
conversation.
success being the ratings.
Yeah, and it's just like, man, what are you even rooting for at this point? I think about it with movies all the time. There's always people who get obsessed with box office and like, is this going to perform? It's like, who fucking cares? It's not your money. You're not going to get any more money if the movie does well. Like, you're just, God, quit being like, it's just this like LinkedIn culture or something of just everybody pretending like they're analysts. Like, just,
yeah,
I don't know. Get better at your hobbies, guys. Just what if you just enjoyed it rather than trying to like be a glowing brain, consultant on everything. Anyways, great piece by Porath. I agree.
I mentioned it earlier, dude. I just got to get this off my chest. The first event on Korn Ferry Tour I believe it was on Paradise Island or at Atlantis there. Yeah. Just not what it was like the ocean course there. Just not what we're about. Not what we had back on Exuma, back at Firefest. This one was much more just low scoring. I think 27 under 1. Everybody, it was a dart fest, no wind, it stunk. So
it's not what we're about, TC.
Yeah, like we got to beef up the weirdness out there.
Agree.
What else? PGA of America's tournament director for the 2026 PGA Championship, which is in 5 months. Step down.
Seems 4 months.
Exciting,
really, right?
Probably no Blaine.
Yeah, announced on LinkedIn, which I believe is the platform of choice, the medium of choice for the PGA of America. It seems, but
new level, new devil.
LinkedIn catching a lot of strays here. Sorry about that.
Long notes thing on there. It was like it read almost like a MJ kind of, or like a LeBron James retirement thing. Tournament director, but it sounds like he's got a good opportunity. It sounds like it could be outside of golf, but this was also the guy that was going to do the 2029 PGA Championship, or what was it 2028 PGA Championship? 29 PGA Championship at Hazeltine as well.
Ryder Cup.
Or sorry, Ryder Cup
yeah.
As well. So, but he assures me via X, the Everything app, that the team is in great hands for 5 months from now in Philadelphia. I have heard rumors that they're struggling for volunteers up there as well. Like they've had to put out kind of additional calls for volunteers up there, which has to warm Randy's heart. So
they gotta lower their costs.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then otherwise, we can probably do some architecture stuff on a future app. I played Fall Line a couple weeks ago. Crazy. 2 courses, east and west, both OCM.
Where is this place, do you see, for those that don't know?
One's Heathland, one's Sandbelt. It is west of Macon, Georgia, kind of between Macon and Columbus. Maybe 45 minutes west of
Russ Henley country.
I-75. Yeah. And they've got to be at least a couple $100 million into the project. No expense spared. But man, I will say it's as close as I've seen to Sandbelt golf anywhere outside of the Sandbelt. It is the genuine article, and I'm still kind of wrapping my head around it. But yeah, spectacular golf courses.
It's a ringing endorsement.
It is. Yeah, and the Heathland course, great walk. Not quite as memorable in the golf holes, but just kind of a series of like 7s and 8s. But yeah, nothing. I don't know. It was, they've got a short course as well. You rip around in Polarises. It's just a very interesting experience. And speaking of interesting experiences, Deej, you've got the, my question for you, because the CB McDonald deep dive is coming out this week.
Part 2.
Or the part 2 is coming out this week. Did you like or dislike CB McDonald more after you finished this?
It's an interesting question. I guess I would say I don't know if I can answer it. I'm not trying to cop out, but I think the point of the exercise was that I didn't know that much about him. Like I knew the broad strokes, and I knew like, national in Chicago, but I didn't know too much about his character and his ethos and his experiences and all of that stuff. So it's like I don't know if it was necessarily a more or less. It just kind of filled in colored in the lines a little bit. but I walked away like getting to the end of the research and just feeling like pretty satisfied. Just being like, man, that's a character. That's a capital C character that we're lucky to have in the game of golf. And like, as one of the guys who pointed the boat in the right direction is kind of how I felt. I loved the shit about the rules and how militant he was about that stuff, particularly about how that was suspended when it didn't apply to him. I
Sounds
love
like Sully with the producers this past weekend or this past week.
More to come.
I loved I said it in there a couple times, but I loved kind of the golf as a proxy for American history sort of stuff, or kind of like the Roaring '20s and the stock market crash and all. Like, he just kind of is in the, you can go back to like the World's Fair in Chicago. Like he's in all these like touch points of American history, and he's hanging with all these power brokers and all these titans of industry, and golf kind of just keeps intersecting with all these through all these relationships. It's just really cool. So like, do I think he and I would have been lifelong friends and got, I don't know about that. I didn't necessarily read him as like a man, I wish I could have just chopped it up with that guy, but I loved reading about him, and I think that's why the project was so fun to do.
We need more menaces.
Yeah,
and your character, if your life story is 2 episodes, like,
for sure.
If you can't, multiple hours each one, like you can't get everything into even one episode. I think that says it all
for sure.
Sully, I have breaking news across the wire. This is from Friday night, but Los Toros del Este lost 6-2 to Aguilas Cibaeñas. However, the Toros protested the game, citing Aguilas Cibaeñas having 9 imported players on the game roster when only 8 spots are allowed under Dominican Winter League rules. 6 of the 9 non-Dominican players on the game roster made appearances in the contest for the Aguilas. So sounds like their protest was upheld, and the game result will be annulled.
Wow.
They will replay the game if necessary.
The replay fourth down.
Huge for
it's a round robin. So, yeah, crazy.
I thought you were going to say they protested because they had to have Jamer Candelario on their team.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah, Aguilas not happy. All sorts of stuff going on.
Seems like a cut and dry rule here, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like the producers are up to something.
That their roster was approved by the league manager. So
interesting.
Huh.
We got pretty invested in La Romana, Toros del Este. As mentioned, we got the Amex coming here this week. Deej, you almost hit last week on
just want to have a chance on the back nine on Sunday. That's all we're looking for.
You had Harry Hall, did not hit. Who's winning the Amex this week?
This is going to be I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Scotty Scheffler is going to win this week.
Playing. Yeah. I'm going to say Ben Griffin.
You love Ben Griffin.
I do. I'm a huge Griffin guy.
I liked the comps on the broadcast between Ben Griffin and Gotterup. I know Gotterup has louder tools, but from a strictly from a confidence standpoint and from a when I'm in the fight, I'm not going away type of vibe. I liked that comp.
I'll go Gotterup back to back.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Love that.
Okay. We got the Hero Dubai Desert Classic on the DP World Tour. The Abaco Bahamas event will be wrapping up on Wednesday. I saw this from Brentley Romine. Blades Brown, he finished top 40 at the Myrtle Beach. I think I have that right.
Rick D's.
And which gets you a 5-hour card for one flight, which is a private jet charter company and the title sponsor of the PGA Tour event. He finished 37th. And anybody that finished top 50 got one of these. And he's planning to cash that in to fly directly to the Amex after the Abaco event wraps up on Wednesday. So he'll play 8 straight competitive days because these Bahama events run Sunday to Wednesday. So
that might be like exactly a 5-hour flight too. So do we think that flight credit NetJets gives these guys who they sponsor credits, but they have to pay for the membership or they have to put some skin in the game, and then they'll top your account up. You think it's free and clear, and he gets 5 hours and he just pays for.
Seems like a lot of hours to be given out for everybody.
Right?
In the
Just
top
a
40.
lot for an opposite field.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there might be terms and conditions
200
apply
hours.
there.
Yeah.
You have to look into that, but
hey, they're getting something out of it. Maybe Brentley's getting hours too.
that's interesting.
Yeah, and think about that.
Can we get a little bit for mentioning this as well? As mentioned, we'll have part 2 of the CB McDonald deep dive will be out this coming Tuesday, and we'll of course be back to wrap up Amex in Dubai this coming weekend. Anything else before we wrap?
That's it. Good to be back. I'm glad we got a good stretch of golf coming up here, guys. I'm excited for it.
We do.
DJ,
This is the hardest Bears. This is the latest night.
That's all right. Condolences to all the people in the greater Chicago area.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you back here next week. Cheers.